Today, we explore the dark world of Kim Il-sung and the atrocities committed during his rule in North Korea. Now buckle up, because this is going to be a roller coaster ride that could leave you speechless. First, let me give you a brief background on Kim Il-sung. He was the founding leader of North Korea, and his regime lasted for a staggering 46 years. During his time in power, he established a personality cult that placed him at the center of the nation's history and identity. But as we are about to discover, there was a much darker side to his rule. It is widely known that Kim Il-sung started the Korean War, which killed 3 million people. After the war, he brainwashed the people of North Korea into idolizing him. He killed all of his officers and rivals. In addition, he exiled or executed 90% of his generals that fought in the war. More than 200,000 political prisoners were forced into concentration camps. But for his lesser-known actions, let's start with the political purges initiated by Kim Il-sung. One of the most notorious purges was the Yugoslav affair in the 1960s. Bearing any signs of ideological deviation, Kim purged numerous high-ranking officials and intellectuals who were suspected of being influenced by the Yugoslav model of socialism. These purges led to widespread persecution, imprisonment, and, in some cases, execution of individuals who were perceived as threats to the regime. But the political purges were just the tip of the iceberg. Kim Il-sung was responsible for one of the most devastating famines in history, the North Korean famine of the 1990s, also known as the Arduous March. The famine, caused by economic mismanagement and a series of natural disasters, resulted in the deaths of hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of North Koreans. The Kim regime, however, denied the severity of the crisis, leaving its own people to suffer in silence. Let's shift our focus to the human rights abuses under Kim Il-sung. One of the most horrifying aspects was the establishment of forced labor camps, known as gulags, where political prisoners were subjected to unimaginable cruelty. These camps, which still exist to this day, are characterized by forced labor, tortured, and deplorable conditions. Countless individuals have lost their lives or endured lifelong physical and psychological trauma within these camps. Moreover, Kim Il-sung's regime propagated a culture of surveillance and fear, where individuals were constantly monitored, and any perceived disloyalty or criticism of the regime were swiftly punished. People were forced into these concentration camps for something as little as dropping a picture of Kim Il-sung accidentally on the ground. If someone committed a crime, the person's children and the children's children would also be killed or sentenced to life imprisonment. This environment of fear and paranoia created a society where citizens lived in constant apprehension, unable to express their opinions or exercise their basic human rights. Another shocking aspect of Kim Il-sung's rule was the indoctrination of the population through state-controlled media and education. Propaganda was heavily utilized to elevate Kim and his ideology to near-divine status. Schools became centers for indoctrination, teaching a distorted version of history that idolized Kim and diminished any alternative narratives. This manipulation of information further ensured the complete control of the regime over the minds of its citizens. Perhaps one of the most disturbing aspects of Kim Il-sung's reign was the impact it had on future generations. The indoctrination and suppression of freedom of thought have persisted even after his death, leaving a lasting legacy of fear and oppression. Kim Il-sung died in 1994 of a heart attack, which was brought on by a family fight with his son, Kim Jong-il, who has proven that he is worse than his father. His successors, including his son Kim Jong-il and his grandson Kim Jong-un, have continued to perpetrate these human rights abuses, leading to a cycle of suffering for the North Korean people. As we conclude our journey into the dark abyss of Kim Il-sung's rule, let's remember the countless lives that were lost or forever changed due to his oppressive regime. Thanks for joining us today as we explore the life of Kim Il-sung, another evil monster from our strange past. Before leaving, please be sure to subscribe for more videos and click that like button. Until our next video, take care.